How was your name?
Pamela Keith.
Okay. Hi, your name, sir?
Edward Keith.
Okay. And sir, keep that mask over your nose and mouth. This is for your safety while you're there, sir. Stand by.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we are on the record. Calling case number 210-5521 for the state of Michigan versus Edward Lee Keith. Counsel, your appearance and P number for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good afternoon, rather, Your Honor. May it please the sound of a court, Jermaine Ware. My P number is 54352 on behalf of Edward Lee Keith.
Wait, Nicole Marie, saying your client mute.
Yes, Your Honor.
Call away Nicole Marie reading enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. There is a Zoom probable cause conference date January 19, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court, followed by preliminary examination date January 25, 2021 at 9 o'clock at the 36th District Court by Zoom, both are by Zoom, in front of Judge Kenyatta Stanford Jones and as the bond counsel.
As to bond, Your Honor, we would ask for the lowest bond possible in terms of positive attributes. He's been working rehab homes. He has a 17-year-old son that he's actively engaged as a father of. In light of the serious COVID epidemic and the deadly effects that it has had on this community and the jail, we would ask for release. He has asthma, so he's within a vulnerable population. So we would ask for great mercy, leniency, and compassion in terms of having him released today.
Okay, thank you. And did you see the bond? Are there any holds?
There's no holds, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Counsel Court takes into account your representations, particularly that your client has significant ties to the community, including family and residential, as well as employment ties to the community, and also highlighting what the court does take into consideration when it comes to the overall pandemic facing the nation at this time. The court is also balancing that with the seriousness of the charges and the nature of the allegations, which are serious allegations specifically. And again, these are allegations only, but of concern, and the court is making a record in that the allegations include that your client held the adult complaining witness and several minor children using a firearm to enforce and to make the adult complaining witness and the minor children stay in place. It would not refuse to let them leave. The court is concerned about the overall potential safety to the community, especially without the complaining witness and minor children during this alleged series of events. The court has a concern. Again, this is Mr. Keith, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. If I may respond to that, though, this same complainant has made several false accusations against him in the past, as recently as December, at least 3 times in the past. The same complaint.
Well, and so noted, counsel, but here's the other thing, too. The court, this is brand new for this court, and this court, again, has to balance all the factors. So, again, this court is acknowledging your very vigorous defense with regard to your client, but the court also has to maintain an overall concern for the reasons stated on the record. And all of those are elements or things that can be borne out at the time of preliminary examination. This court is confident that your office will vigorously continue to defend your provided defense for your client. Here's what the court is going to do at this time, given that your client is gainfully employed. Also, while this case is pending, let's just jump ahead a little bit before the court sets a bond or conditions of bond. Stand by. All right, this court notes that the complaining witness's address is different from that of your client. Do they reside together, or because there is going to be a no contact order while this case is pending?
Yes, he has no issue with that, Your Honor. In light of the trouble she's already put him through in prior cases, he assures the court, and I'm sure he will verbally, if you want it from him directly, that he will have absolutely no contact whatsoever with her.
All right, and counsel, it also begs the question, and again, every person has to make, we're all grown, and every person has to make a decision about the company they keep, but based on your representations, if it is the case that the complaining witness and your client have had experiences like this before that are unfortunate for both of them, then one of them needs to step up and actively make a decision about whether or not if they want to keep company with one another. Because this has happened before, it simply stands to reason that perhaps it isn't good for anybody's health or welfare for them to continue to maintain the contact with one another. It's really that simple, because it's a little peculiar that this has happened before. And of course, all that will bear itself out at the time of exam. But the court simply wants to make that point as well in light of your representations about your client.
We appreciate that, Your Honor. And we would know too, based upon the information we have, there were absolutely no bruises or visible for the complainant, even in allegations here.
Counsel, here's what the court is going to do. For the reasons the court has indicated above, at this time, court is going to set bond in the amount of $5,000, 10%. Most importantly, your client is going to be subject to Wayne County Sheriff's GPS tether. And absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, Sierra Oliver, Jalen Oliver, Jareno Oliver, and Jamarcus Oliver. No contact means no written or verbal communication with these individuals, no messages to them through third parties. The no contact order also extends to their places of residence and places of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. And as it relates to the complaining witnesses, to the underage complaining witnesses, that also includes no contact with their schools or doctors or any agencies that provide services to those minor children for the time being. Of course, this is subject to change, but the most important thing is the no contact order, because if your client violates that no contact, because here's the thing, counsel, based on what you're indicating, that's for his safety as well and his welfare as well. Because if he violates the no contact order, the onus is on him. He's the one who's going to get picked up, and he's the one who's going to spend the rest of this case in custody. Now, this court also appreciates that part of the role of an attorney is to provide counsel, not just legal defense. But the thing is, if it is the case that this has happened before, then the thing is, it would be remiss for this court, also as an attorney, and for you as an attorney, to miss the opportunity to point out that perhaps these two don't need to keep company. It's as simple as that, because if he values his liberty, then he needs to make decisions, better decisions. It's as simple as that. Because if it is the case that there's ever a time that Mr. Keith and this court cross paths again, it's going to be a lot harder to sell this court on the idea of like, oh my goodness, it was just one of those things. It's going to be very difficult to convince this court. It's really that simple. Is there anything further?
Do I get a chance to say something?
Sir, you have an attorney here who has gone to bat for you. And you need to understand that this court has been very clear about its concerns on the record about this case. So let your attorney do his job. He's doing an excellent job for you on your behalf, and you need to keep it that way. Counsel, is there anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Gentlemen, we are concluded. You're all set, so you can step away from the camera. Hi, your name, sir?
Nelson Butler.
Thank you. On case number 210-55210, People State, Michigan versus Nelson Reuben Butler, counsel. Court waive the formal reading, enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf. There's a Zoom probable cause conference date, set February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to Thursday District Court, followed by a preliminary examination date, also by Zoom at the Thursday District Court at a date to be determined in front of Judge Giles and Esteban.
Mayor, my client, 26 years old, lifelong resident of Detroit, no prior criminal conviction, is employed and does have a stable residence. This is not assaulted.
Thank you, and Esteban, are there any holds?
No holds, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel takes into account your representation, including his ties to the community. This is a non-assaultive matter, and also court takes into account the COVID pandemic facing the nation at this time. Court on this case is set bond $1,000 personal bond and no firearms while this case is pending. Is there anything further? Thank you, sir. You're all set. You step away from the camera.
Sonya Red. What's your name, White line, first and last name? First of all, you have any hope for something?
Hi, your name, sir?
Raymond Thompson.
Thank you.
Put your wristband, say, where was you at, bro? Straight back there to the left.
Calling case number 210-55211, People State of Michigan versus Raymond Lamar Thompson. Counsel.
Trustee Sharma, on behalf of Mr. Thompson, who is formal reading and written constitutional rights and standards.
Call with formal reading, enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Thursday, Zoom, probable cause, state set for January 20th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom film examination date January 28th, 2021 at 9 o'clock at the 36th District Court, both by Zoom in front of Judge Jones and as to bond.
Your Honor, Mr. Thompson is 31 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Michigan. He understands the contract order. He has no issue with that, Your Honor. Respectfully asking the court to consider a personal bond. He is a father of two. He has family ties, community ties, and he is unemployed right now due to the pandemic.
Thank you. And did you see as to bond, are there any holds?
No other holds, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel court takes into account representations, including his significant ties to the community. Also, it appears that there's nothing else outstanding with any other jurisdictions. This court also is balancing that with the nature of the charge and the seriousness of the allegations, particularly as to count one. And that it is the case that while the instant case is our allegations only, this is the third matter of its kind. And your client has been previously convicted twice before of domestic violence, making this elevating this to a felony. And that is of concern, particularly as it relates to overall safety of the community. Is unknown at this time whether or not if the complaining witness or witnesses in the other two cases, prior two cases, which resulted in convictions, involve the same party or not. The court also takes note that the stand by.
I got Hawkins. Deontay Hawkins. Yeah.
Counsel, here's what the court is going to do. The court is going to set bond in the amount of $7,500, 10%. Also, more importantly, while this case is pending, your client is going to be subject to Wayne County Sheriff's GPS tether. And even though we haven't covered this, counsel, the court notes that a review of the file shows that your client's address of record is the same as that of the alleged offense, is that the same as the complaining witness. Does your client have someplace else to stay while this case is pending? Because there will be a no contact order while this case is pending.
Yes, sir.
I got my own.
Mr. Thompson, this is being recorded. So this is your attorney speaking. I'm advising you not to say anything. We're gonna have you stand mute. The court is asking that you have an alternative residence, and you did tell us that you did. They want to make sure you do not lose the complaining witness. That's correct, right?
What's your name, brother?
I got my own house.
Please.
Okay, and just to clarify, it is not the address at 19176 address. Is that correct?
Correct.
No, it's not.
And respectfully, the court, Mr. Thompson's got a personal bond in the morning, and as the court is aware, he has court dates in March and April for the CPS case. He's also unemployed right now due to the pandemic. Your Honor, he wants to take care of all of these matters. I hate for him to have to sit in jail because of his inability to pay, Your Honor.
So noted. And counsel, please be advised, and the court has indicated on the court, again, does appreciate your bond argument, but this court's concern and primary concern is that this, being that this is an allegation of a criminal matter, particularly a third offense notice, meaning that he's had two prior convictions before for the same type of offense. This particular occasion are allegations only, but this court has a concern that it suggests a course of conduct, being that this is his third time in front of a court for the same type of offense, particularly of an assaultive nature in the context of a domestic dynamic. And this court has a very grave concern, a very deep and sincere concern about the safety of the complaining witness while this case is pending. Your client needs to understand that, again, while these are allegations only, this is a very serious matter, and this court appreciates it, but this court wants to make sure that he understands how serious and the gravity of this particular case. Because under circumstance, this court is in fact taking into account everything that you've indicated, including the status, ability to pay, but the court again wants to ensure that your client understands that there's no contact order while this case is pending, including a tether. And this court wants to make sure that the complaining witness is safe. And in essence, he's got some skin in the game and he understands how important this is, period. And also let it be the case that under the Michigan court rules, bond is subject to review at any time. So there will be a judge at another court date, or even if your office or his attorney of record at any time will be able to make a motion with regard to the bond and conditions of bond. But that is the court's order at this time. Is there anything further? Yes, I'm sorry, January 20th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court by Zoom, and followed by a plenary examination date, January 28th, 2021 at 9 o'clock, both by Zoom at the 36th District Court in front of Judge Jones. Also, while this case is pending, no contact with the complaining witness, Shayla Danforth. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to her through third parties. No contact order also extends to her place of residence and place of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. Is there anything further? Okay, you're all set, sir. You can step away from the camera.
What they say my bond is?
7,500, 10%, and GPS check.
Mr. Sanford, I think oh no, hold on. Did he have two cases?
He had a resisting officer, and he had that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, Sanford.
What's your last name?
Right.
So just to be clear, Mr. Thompson has two cases, is that correct? Is it the same person? This morning? That was a child abuse case this morning. That's what I'm looking, that's what you gave me to sign. Is that correct? Is that what this is? Is that him?
He should. Your Honor, he had obstructing a police officer and assault domestic. We did the two earlier on the.
Okay. Okay, so counsel again, and it's, okay, so taking this, so, sorry?
That was from this morning. It was the wrong name that was written on there, so she just redid it.
But it's the same person,
It's the same person.
has two cases.
Right.
Okay, and counsel, again, even though we did address the other case, earlier in the other session, is the case that this is the second case of an assault of nature, arguably involving vulnerable individuals. The first case was involving a minor. It was a child abuse case. So this court's decision stands. Okay. Hi, your name, sir?
Toran, right?
Thank you. Calling case number 210-55212, Beavis and Michigan versus Teran Wright, also known as Teran Roland Wright, also known as Teran Rahudo Wright. Counsel, your appearance, please.
We have to find Mr. Wright, who is from a reading understanding the constitutional rights of standing.
Call wait, form of reading, enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Stand by. Okay, court with the form of reading, enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf. There's going to be a Zoom probable cause conference date, January 21, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. at the 36th District Court by Zoom, followed by a Zoom preliminary examination date, January 29, 2021 at 9 o'clock at the 36th District Court in front of Judge Archer and as to bond.
Your Honor, Mr. Wright is 33 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Detroit. He is employed at Harold Commercial Group Property. He did get his GED, does need to take medication for depression, Your Honor. He's not on probation or parole. He has a son of 6-month-old daughter. He does live alone, Your Honor. He does not live with a complaining witness. He understands no contact orders. He has provided us with contact information. And, Your Honor, just for the record, according to my client, he's the one that called the police. These are allegations. I'm respectfully asking the court to consider a personal bond, Your Honor.
Okay, DDCS bond, are there any holds?
No holds, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Stand by. Court's going to review information in the investigation report in addition to your information, your representations regarding bond.
These are the females.
You may go get them.
They don't come over here.
How many you want me to get them together over there?
That's the green. Those are the boys.
Okay.
I think those only two are.
Ain't this a man?
That's a transgender. She on the other side.
Okay, counsel, that is the date. And again, what is your bond argument? I'm sorry, it's going to be a probable cause conference date if we haven't indicated January 21, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom preliminary examination date January 29, 2021 at 9 o'clock at the 36th District Court, and it is in front of Judge, I think it's next to Jones. I'm sorry, Judge Archer. I'm sorry, your bond argument, please.
Your Honor, my friend, 33 years old, lifelong resident of Detroit, is employed at Heroes Commercial Group Property, did pay his GED. Your Honor, he does take medication for his depression. He does have a 6-month-old daughter who he provides for. He does live alone, Your Honor, so he does not live with the complaining witness. And just for the record, my client has indicated that he's the one that called the police. I'm mistaken for allegations, Your Honor, and so orders on the for personal harm.
Okay, and again, and you have in your ensuring to this court that he does have another place to live, just so that you're aware, counsel review of the file shows that the complaining witness, your client's address is the same as that of the complaining witness and the same as that of the location of the alleged offense.
Yes, Mr. Ray has indicated that he does not reside with the complaining witness.
So noted, please. I mean, he does need to give his address. I mean, we don't want any private information on the record like that, but just to ensure that he does have someplace else to stay while this case is pending. He's not going to the 10426 address.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Do not reside with the complaining witness, so Jones, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, counsel. Court, again, has indicated its concerns on the record, particularly that includes allegations of an assaultive nature within the context of a domestic dynamic. Further, court is balancing it with the pandemic facing the country at this time. Court, therefore, is going to do the following. Court is going to set a bond in the amount of $3,000, 10%. Also, while this case is pending, your client is going to be subject to Wayne County Sheriff's GPS tether. Also, while this case is pending, absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, Zoe Jones. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to her through third parties, no contact order also extends to her place of residence and place of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. Is there anything further?
No, thank you.
Okay, you're all set, so you can step away from the camera.
All right, just wait, take. You gotta go to the counter, get that check on, then the picture. You see Rick there, brother?
Yeah, but I got a bond.
You can sit down, but put you on.
That's the word.
Hi, your name, sir?
Nice Harris.
Thank you. You said James Harris, is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Calling case number 210-55214, People State of Michigan versus James Hishon Harris, counsel.
Dr. Sharma, on behalf of the defendant, Mr. James Harris, who is from a reading of the constitutional rights and standards.
Call away the formal reading and turn not guilty plea. On your client's behalf, this is a Zoom probable cause conference date set for February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom preliminary examination date to be determined, and it will be by Zoom at the 36th District Court in front of Judge Kenyatta Jones and as the bond.
Your Honor, my client is 23 years old, lifelong resident of Detroit, no prior criminal conviction. Did just interview, well, had the interview for Chrysler this Wednesday. He did complete a, sorry, Your Honor, he's not on probation or parole. He did provide us with,
Never been arrested today.
contact information. And Your Honor, this is a non-assaultive charge, so I'm respectfully asking the court to consider it a personal bond.
Thank you. Did we see his bond or any holds?
No hold, Your Honor.
Thank you. Council Court takes into account representations, including he doesn't have any other holds or any other commitments in the community, any other court matters in the community, and further that he does have stable community ties and gainful employment, and also that this is a non-assaultive matter given the pandemic facing the nation. Court is going to set bond amount of $1,000 personal bond and no firearms while this case is pending. Is there anything further?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, sir. You can step away from the camera.
Explain, Jay.
Thank you.
You got the personal bond, brother, for the cover, get that paper. You see your wristband working you up? Five, like that will put you up. Oh, you brother Dave, he come at night, he got a wheelchair.
What's his name?
He didn't get no personal bond.
I know, but I just wrote that down. It's on the other sheet though.
This is David Davis, excuse me, David. You going in there, brother? She gonna bring the camera down for you? Yes, sir.
Can you get past, mister? Okay, let me bring this camera down so the judge can see you. Let me move this out your way. Can you get past?
Yes.
Okay. Don't want pass.
Oh, watch me like this. Hello.
Wait, I gotta set the camera. I can't see you. Put your mask all the way on your nose. Thank you.
Hi, your name, sir?
Dennis Davis.
Thank you. Calling case number 210-55215, People State, Michigan versus Dennis Earl Davis, also known as Dennis E. Davis. Counsel.
Brian Rock, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Dennis Davis, we agree and give Mr. Davis suspended conduct.
Pull away the formal reading, enter not guilty plea on your client's behalf. There's a Zoom probable cause conference date set for February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom preliminary examination date to be determined at the 36th District Court and as to bond.
On your honor, I'd like this court to know Mr. Davis is a 55-year-old lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit. I understand that he does have a prior criminal conviction on that's all the way back in 1988. He does receive Social Security at this point. He has no stable sort of income other than his Social Security. He suffers from seizures, high blood pressures, and high cholesterol as well. He is in his
What's up, Charlie Reddy?
He's a global health pandemic facing our nation at this time. What we consider a personal violence matter.
Thank you.
With the holes clear?
And counsel, there is going to be a no contact order. It appears that your, okay, it looks like they both live in an apartment complex.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, at this time, I want to say, at this time, I want to report that the complaint with this matter is a tenant to the same apartment complex that Mr. Davis does not reside at that specific.
Put that back on. Do not take that much.
All right. Counsel, here's what we're going to do. Thank you. Court's going to wait the formal reading and tonight gets to on your client's behalf. There's a Zoom probable cause conference date February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom preliminary examination date to be determined, both by Zoom at the 36th District Court in front of Judge Giles. And you've made your bond argument. Particular concern, which you did address, was what is going to be a no contact order. At this time, based on your representations and the pandemic facing the nation at this time, court wants your client to remain as safe as possible and also make back for all of his court dates. Given those elements, court on this case is going to set bond in the amount of $3,500 personal bond. More importantly, while this case is pending, your clients have absolutely no contact with complaining witness Crystal Sari Scruggs. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to her through third parties. The no contact order also extends to her place of residence and place of employment. Now, given what you've indicated on the record that they live in the same apartment complex, it appears that based on the numbers, it appears that they're not necessarily on the same floors. So this court is going to, he will be permitted to live in his home. However, he needs to understand that no contact means that the responsibility or the onus is on him to avoid no contact with the complainant, because if they see each other in the hallway, they happen to see each other, the responsibility is his to turn around and go the other direction, perhaps remove himself from the situation. He has to have no contact. That way, he does not have to go and find someplace else to stay while the case is pending. But if he fails to comply with that no contact order, he can get picked up and he can spend the rest of his case in custody. So he's in the driver's seat on this one to not have contact with the complainant while this case is pending. Is there anything further? Thank you, sir. All right, you're all set, sir. You can step away from the camera.
All right, Brother J, this way, just back on up, straight on up, back straight on up, brother. There you go. You got a personal bond, so I'll get you out here in a couple hours. Man, the whole building up, you know?
I'm trying to get out of
You ain't
here.
got your driver's license?
No,
I can tell.
never had a driver like never had
All right, Barnes, it's on you, brother. Hey, Brother Steve, can you fall off this back up? Okay. Come on down.
Hi, your name, sir?
CR134 Barnes.
Thank you. Calling case number 2104402, People State Michigan versus CR134 Barnes Counsel.
Roger Rock, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Karan Barnes, I agree to extend. Mr. Barnes has been advised this counsel.
Full waive the formal reading into not guilty plea on your client's behalf. This is Zoom pretrial date, January 28, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. the 36th District Court, and it is in front of Judge Bryant as the bond.
Bond, Your Honor, Mr. Barnes is 25 years old, a lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit, gainfully employed at Emerald Stock Factory, high school graduate. No previous history that I'm aware of, Your Honor. I'd ask this court respectfully to consider a personal.
Thank you, and did you see his bond any holds?
He has 2 holes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, counsel, court takes into account representations, including that your client did successfully complete a level of school, and it appears that he may have some other matters in some other jurisdictions, but this is not a assaultive matter, and the court is also mindful of the pandemic facing the country at this time. As in this case, court will set by an amount of $1,000 personal bond. Anything further? Okay, you're all set, so you can step away from the camera.
Come on, baby. Let's see, respect, you want to go okay, I got you. Brother man, white line, first and last name?
Hi, your name, sir?
Marte Hawkins.
Stand by. Okay, counsel, do you have files ready on Hawkins? Yes. Okay, great. All right, we're on the record calling case number 2105511, People State Michigan versus defendant number 2, DeMarte Deshaun Hawkins. Counsel, your appearance, please.
Roger Rock, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. DeMarty Hawkins, please
Call away the formal reading into not guilty plea on your client's behalf is a Zoom probable cause conference date February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to the 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom preliminary examination date to be determined at the 36th District Court, both in front of Judge Kagan as the bond.
Your Honor, as the bond, I'd like to put Mr. Hawkins is 18 years old, is a lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit. He's had a unaware of any prior criminal history, Your Honor. He's currently, I believe he's still at Westside Academy in the 11th grade. Want to know that he does take medication concerning the fact that he has no previous history, no criminal history that we're aware of. Fully intends to abide by the anticipated no contact order. We ask for personal bond.
Thank you. Okay, and DDC is the bond. Are there any holds?
No holds, Your Honor.
All right, stand by. All right, counsel, court takes into account your representations, including that this is from an alleged matter from just before just right around the end of the year 2020. Court will take into account the nature of the charges, to include allegations of an assaultive nature, but the client does have very significant ties to the community. Here's what the court is going to do. The court is going to set bond in the amount of $10,000 personal bond. Your client is going to be subject to Wayne County Sheriff's GPS tether. Also, while this case is pending, absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, Stephen Page. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to him through third parties, and no contact order also extends to the place of residence and place of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. Is there anything further? Okay, you're also taking yourself away from the camera.
Where you been, eh? What you been say, bro?
One more.
Yep, you gonna put you back up for a pen? It's on you, bro, John. First one, you gonna step in the white line, say your first and last name, take the hoodie off, bro.
Counsel, do you have any other updates on interviews?
Yes, I have Larry Buckner.
Lewis D. Johnson Jr.
Okay, stand by, sir, right there. Stand by. Okay, I'm sorry, you said Buttram and who else?
Buttram, Deontay Harris, David Louis Johnson,
Any misconduct?
Yes, sir. Who else?
Andre Herbert.
Herbert. Got it. Was it everything at this time? Okay, all right, your name again, sir?
Lewis D. Johnson Jr.
Okay, thank you, sir. Calling case number 20045185, People State, Michigan versus Lewis David Johnson Jr., also known as Lewis David Johnson, also known as Lewis Johnson, also known as David Johnson, also known as Lewis David Johnson, also known as David Herman, also known as David Harmon, also known as Lewis D. Johnson, counsel.
Brian Barat, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. David Louis Johnson, waive reading stand mute. Mr. Johnson's been advised of his constitutional rights.
Call with formal reading into a not guilty plea. On your client's behalf, there's a Zoom pretrial date, January 29, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court in front of Judge Bryant and Esteban.
Esteban, Your Honor, Mr. Johnson is a 63-year-old lifetime resident here in the city of Detroit. Does receive social security disability, does not receive any other income besides that. Maintains that he takes medication and that he does not get received. I'm unaware of any case cases through running role. Given his age, Your Honor, and the global health pandemic, I'm asking this court for a no contact order of personal contact.
Okay. And it appears, okay. All right, Counselor, just to clarify, there's going to be a no contact order. It appears, at least at the time of this alleged offense, a review of the file suggests that your client and the defendant, your client and the complainant were residing together briefly. So just to clarify, your client does not reside with the complainant. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, from what I understand, that is correct. Mr. Johnson, you understand that you cannot be living with Randy Gardner. If you are released today and Randy Gardner is at that 201 apartment, you have to stay somewhere else. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, yes. He is not at the 201 apartment.
Okay, thank you, sir, thank you. All right, thank you, counsel. All right, the January 29, 2021 date will be his court date. At this time, court is going to set bond in the amount of $1,000 personal bond. And while this case is pending, no contact with the complaining witness, Randy Gardner. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to him through third parties. No contact also extends to his place of residence and place of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. Is there anything further? Okay, you're all set, so you can step away from camera.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
All right, Johnson. Just go ahead, because they ain't printed again, right? Water room. Come on, man. Butter. Yeah, butter room, right? Butter room?
Yes, that's it.
Butter room, a little bit better.
Hi, your name, sir?
Larry Buttram Jr.
Thank you. Calling case number 2104403, People State, Michigan versus Larry Buttram, counsel. Call with formal reading and turn I get to clear on your client's behalf. There's a Zoom pretrial date set for January 28, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court in front of Judge Austin Garrett and Esteban, please.
I'm 33 years old, he's a lifelong resident of Detroit. He is self-employed in landscaping. He is on medication for not on probation or parole. He does have a prior, I believe it's a 2007, Your Honor, so it's been about 14 years. There's no contact order, that is provide family contact information. Well, we are still in the middle of the pandemic, so I'm respectfully asking the court to consider it first.
Thank you. DDC is bond, are there any holds?
No holds, Your Honor.
Thank you. Council Court takes into account representations, including that he does have ties to the community. Court also balances it with the nature of the charges, which includes an allegation of an assault of nature within the context of a domestic dynamic. As it relates to ensuring safety to the complaining witness while this case is pending, court is going to set bond in the amount of $3,500 personal bond. Your client is also going to be subject to Wayne County Sheriff's GPS tether. And no contact with the complaining witness, Aisha Moore. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to her through third parties. The no contact order also extends to her place of residence and place of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. Is there anything further? Okay, I'm sorry, stand by. Court date will be January 28, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. in front of Judge Austin Garrett. Is there anything further? Okay, you're all set, so you can step away from the camera.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Put you back inside cell one. You got his phone call, put you up, bro? Use it right in the cage right there. That's all you, brother. White line, first and last name, brother. What's the female name?
Andre Herbert.
Hi, your name, sir?
Andre Herbert.
Thank you, sir. Calling case number 210-55204, People State Michigan versus Andre O. Herbert, counsel. Call with formal reading and tonight guilty plea on your client's behalf. Stand by.
What happened to your slip? I wrote it out.
What's up, man?
No, you go to Dickerson.
It's a personal tether.
Just like all the females go to Dickerson.
Know what I got on?
No, go to Dickerson. Hawkins is over here today telling me, you go to court, you going downtown no matter what. I said, oh, why are you going to be any help? I'll get him. Don't worry about it. I get him.
Come on, man, get this one work, man. We don't make cheap work.
All right, counsel, court will waive formal reading and tonight guilty plea on your client's behalf. It's going to be a Zoom probable cause conference date February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to Thursday District Court, followed by a phone examination date by Zoom to be determined, and a date to be determined at the Thursday District Court in front of Judge Archer and Esteban.
You're a good one, man. Here.
Probation or parole. The structure, of course, is considered a personal law. You understand the content, order, and your honor.
Thank you. Did you see the bond any holds?
No, he has 2 holds, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, counsel, court takes into account representations, including your client's long-term ties to the community, as well as I believe you indicated some health issues. So the court is also remaining mindful of the pandemic facing the country at this time, also balancing with the nature of the charges and the seriousness of the allegations, which includes allegations of an assault of nature, or, and again, these are allegations only, but also that your client was allegedly in possession of contraband that he was not eligible to possess because of his prior felony convictions. At this time, court is going to do the following. Court will set bond in the amount of $5,000 personal bond. Also, while this case is pending, no contact with the complaining witness, queuing Williams. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to them through third parties, no contact or those sent to the place of residence and place of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. Now, the court is mindful upon reviewing the file that it appears that the part, well, let me ask you this, counsel, if need be, does he have someone else, someplace else where he can say while this case is pending?
Your Honor, yes, however, they don't reside together. He does live with his girlfriend who's blind, and he takes care of her. So,
And that's at the same address with the different units?
yeah.
All right, counsel, here's what we're gonna do. All right. The bond is as is $5,000 personal bond and no contact with complaining witness Q. Williams. Now, the no contact order includes no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to her through third parties. No contact order also extends to her place of residence and place of employment. Now, again, as indicated on the record, the court is mindful that the complaining witness and your client appear to live in the same apartment complex but different units. So this court will offer him an opportunity. He has an opportunity to be able to reside, stay in his home. However, the responsibility is on him to have no contact with the complaining witness, Q. Williams. So if, for example, they both just happen to exit their apartments at the same time, the responsibility is his to turn around, go back in the other direction and remove himself from the situation. He is not to cross paths with this individual, because if he fails to comply with the no contact order, he can get picked up and he can spend the rest of his case in custody. Is there anything further? Okay, you're all set, so you can step away from the camera.
All right, perfect. Good to hear you calling.
Your name, sir?
How you doing? Deontay Harris.
Thank you. Calling case number 2105520, People State of Michigan versus Deontay Harris, counsel. Forward formal reading and for not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Stand by.
Excited one, right? Yeah.
You want to take this over or you want to finish it? Court with the formal reading and turn not guilty plea on your client's behalf. This is Zoom probable cause conference date February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. for 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom plenary examination date to be determined at the 36th District Court. Judge Archer and Esteban, please.
Your Honor, my client is 25 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Detroit. He has no prior criminal conviction. He is unemployed at this moment due to the pandemic. And also reached her parole. He does have one daughter. He lives with his mother. He has her support. He has provided us with all of the contact information, as well as the civil residence address, which is different than the place of election offense, Your Honor. Most serious, these are allegations. I respectfully ask the court to consider a personal bond. We are in the middle of the pandemic. He has no priors. He's got family ties, community ties, and he has no issues with no contact order, Your Honor.
Thank you. And did you see his bond or any halt? Thank you. Council court takes into account representations, including your client's ties to the community, and also court takes into account the pandemic facing the nation at this time, your client's ability to pay, and that at this time he is not employed outside the home. Court is also balancing with the nature of the charge and seriousness of the allegations. To your client's benefit, he does have someplace else to stay, he does not reside with the complainant, so the court is going to do the following. Court will set bond the amount of $7,500 personal bond while this case is pending. No contact with the complaining witness, Angel Washington. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to her through third parties. No contact order also extends to her place of residence and place of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. Is there anything further? Okay, you're all set, so you can step away from the camera. We have Myron Ali, Gregory Pearson.
So, Your Honor, I was told that Mr. Pearson is not there.
Oh. Okay, did you see, just to verify on the record, Gregory Pearson is not your facility, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, so in which case the last files that we have are Ali, Sanford, and then Nelson on the women's side, is that correct?
Yes, I was told Sanford is not there as well.
Sanford's not here and Ali is a female.
Okay, on the women's side? Okay, in which case has Sanford been interviewed? They're saying that Sanford is there.
He's not here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I was mistaken. I misunderstood what you said. Okay, so Sanford is not at your facility.
Correct.
Okay, I'll set those back. Okay, in which case, looks like we have two matters over on the women's side. For today on the men's side, so anyone's been with you for 48 hours or more?
Anybody been here? No, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks for staying on the other side, Shirley.
We're ready on the 2 females. Your Honor.
Say again?
We're ready on the 2 females.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, DDC, ready when you are? Oh, hi, your name, please?
Myron Ali.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Calling case number 210-55216, People State, Michigan versus Myron Ali. Counsel, your appearance, please. Call away the formal reading, enter night guilty plea on your client's behalf. There's a Zoom probable cause conference day set for February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. at the 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom preliminary examination date to be determined by Zoom at the 36th District Court, and it's in front of Judge Archer and Esteban, please.
Your Honor, my 32-year-old resident of Detroit, no prior criminal conviction, is employed at Comcast as a high school grad, not on probation or parole, does live in the program on a family ties community side. This is not.
Thank you. And DDC is fine. Are there any holds?
Yes, Your Honor.
One hold.
2 out of 8.
There is a hold.
2.
Okay, that's fine. All right, counsel, court takes into account representations, including your client's ties to the community, including gainful employment and significant residential and family ties to the community, and this is not a solvable matter. Given those elements, court on this case will set by the amount of $1,000 personal bond and no firearms while this case is pending. Is there anything further? Okay, you're all set. You can step away from the camera. You're all set. You can step away from the camera.
I don't even know. Yes, step in there.
I'm sorry? Oh, is he going to dial in or is he coming in? Okay. Okay, ma'am, stand by. Your attorney's on the way in. Okay, counsel, your appearance for the record. I'm sorry, case number 210-55217, People State, Michigan versus Layla Marie Nelson. Counsel for Layla. Call away the formal reading, enter night guilty plea on your client's behalf. This is Zoom probable cause conference date February 5, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 36th District Court, followed by a Zoom preliminary examination date to be determined at the 36th District Court in front of Judge King and Esteban.
high school graduate, she is actually on probation, misdemeanor probation, for OWI, County. Her probation address, and her probation, the place where she lives is Keystone. So, my client tells me that's where she lives, that's where she lives, that's where she's been living. And,
Okay, I'm sorry, where does she live?
19235 Keystone. And, that's what the officers came and took her out of her home.
Okay.
So I just want to point that out to the court, that I'm asking for a personal bond on behalf.
Okay, so just to clarify, there, I mean, and again, for privacy reasons, this court is looking to maintain her privacy. There's a different address on the minimus, a different address than what you've indicated on the petition for court-appointed attorney, and the same address in 3 different places on the investigator's report, but you're giving a 19235 address.
That's what I'm told, Judge. She had another address that she, it was on her license, that now she probably has to go to the court to contact. She informed me that she actually resides at that particular location.
At which location?
And Keystone.
Stand by.
Alright. What is that? Start over.
Okay, counsel, and again, there's and it might be that the court is confident that you were clear, but the court is a bit confused. A review of the file shows that you're saying that your client claims that she's at the 1923, she lives at the 19235 address, correct? Okay. However, a review of the file shows that the location of the alleged offense is that 19235 address. A review of the file shows that the complainant apparently is the complaining witness's former girlfriend and moved out of that residence in July of 2020. That allegedly what brought the 2 parties in contact with each other on this date in question was that the complainant asked the defendant to come back to retrieve some personal belongings, that your client arrived at that location. There's a suggestion that she was perhaps under the influence of something, because there's nothing to indicate an actual blood draw or PBT or anything like that, but it appears that your client was behaving in a peculiar manner, refused to leave, and that's when the police were called, and that's when the police came in contact with her. So out of curiosity, I mean, because either that person lives at that address or does not, but it's based on what you're indicating, your client is insisting that she lives at that address, and yet all other indications are that she's not at that address, including a narrative that ended up in the investigator's report supporting the notion that even the complainant says she's not at that address, was at one time, but no longer lives there.
Right, Judge, my reading of and it's kind of confusing myself, Judge. That's why I wanted to kind of look into it a little more, because I know that the charge was just consisting of obstructing and trespassing. There was no real underlying charge. So what I'm told is that the complaint, Mr. Thomas, my client got into an argument. So he calls the police and says that she doesn't live there. She said she lived there all along. She has mail coming there. She has 3 or 4 sets of mail. She arrived to show the officer. She even had a set of keys that the officers took from her and gave back to Mr. Thomas. My thing was they told her that her name wasn't on the lease, so therefore she had to go. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's more of a landlord-tenant issue. It's fine, because just because he said she doesn't live there, doesn't mean she doesn't live there. And I'm trying to figure out what the officers did. I was trying to find out to see whether or not she lived there. She said she lived there.
Well, and again, so it kind of goes back to there's another address of record, which is, and again, for the sake of maintaining her privacy, there's a 3341 address. Have you had a conversation with her about what that is and distinguishing that?
She has not had an opportunity to get to the Secretary of State and say, to have her license changed. She's been living at that address. This is what she tells me, Judge. And I just thought, you know, it was a little bit strange that the only 2 charges were resisting obstruction and the 30-day trespass charge, because he says she doesn't live here. So that's like.
Well, here's the question, counsel. Again, I know that.
Probation officer yet, but I was going to see, but she said she's probation to the address.
Which address?
Keystone address. That's where she's arrested. That's her residence.
So just to clarify, how long has your client been at this Keystone address?
And Ms. Nelson, if you can tell the judge how long you lived at that Keystone address.
About a year.
How long?
You said a year?
About a year. It's approaching a year. I've been on probation. I'm actually.
Hold on. I just want the court to have that information, Judge, just in case. I know it's a little bit hard when I read it. I just want to make sure
Because here's the thing, counsel, if there's a count of trespass that suggests that your client is not supposed to be at that address, and that's the location of the offense, and this court, it influences what this court sets as a bond and conditions of bond, because this court, it would be remiss, again, this court is bound by what the charges are. So the question is going to be, given that there is, at least at this time, a charge of trespass, that suggests that your client cannot go back to that address. So the next question is, does your client have someplace else that she can be while this case is pending? Because this court doesn't want to set this up for failure where she's either in violation of bond or conditions of bond, or she goes back to that address.
Because she's going to have to action plan, because, you know, like I said, often have a girlfriend he lives with, his name might be on, not be on the list, please tell him to get out, he has to get out. That's just how it is. So you'll have to find somewhere else to go.
Well, that's the question. So, I mean, again, even if we need to pass on this, you need an opportunity to speak with your client, but your client needs to understand that because of how this case is charged,
right,
and this location appears to be an issue, while this case is pending, she's going to have no contact. So with that location, with this person, excuse me.
Would she be able to get her clothes?
I mean, the court will permit a civil standby so she can get her personal belongings, but she needs to understand that unless or until a judge changes that, or this case is adjudicated or something, there's a resolution to this case one way or another, or something changes, she's not going to have contact with that location.
Okay,
so
you understand that, Ms. Nelson?
Yes.
All right. And counsel, you also indicated that she's on probation for an alcohol offense. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And again, that also kind of begs the question based on your representations. And again, the court understands that it was in the context of representing and providing a defense, providing representations for your client. But a review of the file suggests that perhaps there's an issue with regard to your client's decisions were perhaps influenced by something she shouldn't have been doing in the first place. Again, there's no indication of substance abuse or alcohol, but there's something to suggest, again, that kind of touches on the basis for her probation out in Macomb County.
Because when I look at the report, usually I look at the report, it makes sense. But what these two officers did, based on what I know, what I understand, I'm gonna, like you said, there's more investigation, more research, because again, if she actually does live there, there's a problem. She was trying to show the proof that she did live there, and she had actual keys to get in and out of the house. That's a problem, Judge, for me. And police officers, she was circumventing and trying to use what somebody else says because her name is not on the lease to just put her out of her house. So I'm gonna look into it further, Judge, but I understand right now what the court is bound by.
But, okay, but again, just to be clear, your client can identify to your office that she has someplace else to stay while this case is pending.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
But she cannot go back there. I told her that, but I just want the court to have the information.
All right, counsel, here's what the court is going to do, and thank you. Again, February 5, 2021 is the date, 8:30 a.m. to Thursday District Court. Plenary exam at a date to be determined in front of Judge King. Court at this time is going to set bond in the amount of $1,000 personal bond. While this case is pending, no contact with the complaining witness, D'Angelo Nathaniel Thomas. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to him through third parties. The no contact order also extends to the place of residence and place of employment. Further, stand by. Your client is also, the court is going to specify on the minimus that she is allowed a civil standby to gather her personal belongings.
I'm sorry, man. Stacy Church. They had it come off the court, Stacy Martin. Bullshit, man.
We can hear you. Okay, counsel, court has specified a civil standby for her to gather her personal belongings. Is there anything further? Okay, yes, sir. You're all set, ma'am. You can step away from the camera. DDC, it's everything at this time. Is there anyone who's been through for 48 hours or more?
Stacy Marshall, the name.
Okay, I'll tell you what, thank you. We'll see you on the other side, because you guys are gonna have to, is anybody interviewing for Stacy Marshall? Okay, DDC, we'll meet you on the other side. I think the attorneys had to interview him.
Okay, yeah, he's getting interviewed right now.
Oh, it says he's getting interviewed. Okay, thank you. We'll see you over there shortly.
You finished? Come on.
Take your hoodie off, this court. You know, stand right there. That's the only thing we're here for. I don't have your folder. You got any old, like traffic?
Okay, thank you. We're on the record. Calling. Case number 2104403, People State, Michigan versus Stacy Marshall, also known as Stacy Marshall Jr. Counsel. We'll waive the formal reading, enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. This is going to be a Zoom pre-trial date set for January 28, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. at the 36th District Court in front of Judge Austin Garrett and Esteban.
Yeah, my client's 20 years old, lifelong resident of Detroit. He is unemployed right now due to the pandemic. He does receive government assistance, unable to escape right now. He does understand no contact orders. He does not reside together, Your Honor. He did provide us with his mother, and it's different than the alleged place of offense. We are in the middle of a pandemic, so the trial. Your Honor, I have to investigate report. It appears that this third party is and I'm not sure why Mr. Marshall charged, but for purposes of the arraignment, I'm respectfully asking the court to consider a personal bond regarding arbitration. Your Honor.
Thank you. Did you see his bond or any holds?
No hold, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel Court takes into account representations. The court also had an opportunity to review the file, and it appears that there were other parties involved. However, the court also wants to ensure that your client does appear for all proceedings while this case is pending, as well as maintaining no contact with the complainant. And that the court does appreciate you addressing proactively what is going to be no contact order while this case is pending. Given what you presented, counsel court is going to set bond as the following. Bond will be $3,500 personal bond. While this case is pending, no contact with the complaining witness, Takeshia Watson. No contact means no written or verbal communication with this person, no messages to her through third parties, no contact order also extends to place of residence and place of employment, and no social media contacts directly or indirectly. Is there anything further? Okay, you're all set, so you can step away from the camera. Thank you, DDC. At this time, okay, thank you. At this time, is there anyone with you for 48 hours or more?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. We'll see you next time.
See ya.